pressure is a social phenomenon that has a negative or a positive implication on youth or individuals. My name is Peter Yvonne, a student from Mount Kenya University taking counseling psychology. Okay, when we deal with peer pressure, we have various forms of peer pressure, that is academic peer pressure, social peer pressure, religious peer pressure, and also sexual peer pressure.
Hi, my name is Jane. I am a victim of peer pressure. Okay, so like most people would think that I started suffering from peer pressure when I joined campus, but truth of the matter is I've struggled with peer pressure since the time I was in primary school, like from my family, friends at home, classmates, all that. Like ile time yenye you'll just be in school, watu wanaongelea a certain movie, a certain thing na huja watch, then I'd be like, I'll have to, by all means possible, hata nisifanye homework, let me go, me watch, and I'll have a story to tell my friends, because I felt like I just needed to fit in somewhere. I didn't have like close friends, something of the sort.
That is contributed by either friends, classmates, relatives, and community at large. That's leading to various problems, that is stealing, dropping school, financial shortcomings, that have effects on youth at large, whereby they suffer early pregnancies, mental illness, and also engaging in risky behaviors like drug abuse and also early marriages.
As I was in Form 1, these boys were used to use me as an object to go and take the drugs and sell to the other boys. Na vile tu nilikuwa mdogo, mimi sikuwa najua kutumia dawa za kulevya, lakini hao boys walikuwa wanajua kuzitumia. So muda ulipokuwa unayoyoma, nikuja tu nikajipata juu mabeshte wangu wanazitumia na wanasema tu ati wako haili. Na mimi tu nikasema wacha tu at least nisioje kidogo nione tu wenye wanazisikia.
Growing up, I had issues at home with my family. I grew up with a single mom, so it was hard. Like people would be in school after the holidays, after the weekend. They talk about their dad did this, but I didn't have your story. Yeah? My dad did this. So at times I'd end up having this imaginary dad, and I'd come to school and tell my friends, my dad also came home, alinifanyia hivi. And yeah, it was really, really bad.
I've been a victim of peer pressure for a long time, and it has gotten me into a lot. Let me say it has been hard, disadvantageous to me. Back then, when I was in high school, I could hear girls talk about, I'll be more specific about sex. I could hear my friends talk about sex, and so I was so interested. I wanted to know how it was feeling. And so immediately I finished my Form 4. I didn't stay at home for long and traveled to town. So one day I met some two guys. Since I was a virgin and I wanted to try out.
My father, like my biological dad, was this violent man. He would come home drunk, and literally I remember the time my mama alikuwa amesema hamfungulii mlango kabisa. He went akanunua mafuta akakuja na mwaga kwa nyumba. He was like, if you're not leaving, like hamnifungulii niingie kwa nyumba yangu, then you will all die in this house. And I remember my mom calling her neighbors, calling the police, and so he had to run. Akaenda afichoni siku kadhaa. Then he comes back with gifts and he's like, father, and my mom is like, yeah, definitely he's my husband, I'll take him back. And my mom at that time pia alikuwa ameacha kuongea na her relatives because my grandpa was telling her, leave this man, he will kill you, he will be the end of you. But yeah, she will always go back. So honestly, with that picture of my dad, I hated him a lot, and it made me hate all men apart from my brother, because my brother was always my hero. But okay, he wasn't there as much because he was in a boarding school, but the little time he had at home, he would make sure I was...
Let me say, I wanted to try different men. And so, let me say, when somebody called me, come over, something like that, I could just go without hesitating. And so, one day I visited a person. He insisted he wanted to check my phone, something like that. Then I refused. And I removed a knife.
One is engaged in negative peer pressure, he or she may suffer from either long-term or short-term consequences, whereby if it's a short-term consequences, one may be needed to go through a counseling sessions or maybe guidance and counseling. That is, if a person is either in high school or primary school. If the consequences persist, one may be able to seek rehab facilities whereby he or she can be assisted.
Tukaendelea hivyo hivyo, tukafika tamu tatu ambapo ilifika pahali tukapatiwa kila mtu suspension ya kwenda nyumbani. Ilipofika nyumbani, ilikuwa tu na haya kuambia mzazi nimetumwa juu ya hii na hii. Then mzazi akaniuliza ni nini? Kwani mbona unakuja home na hujafunga shule? Akaniambia hebu turudi shule. Kuenda nikapata wase wangu nao pia washarudisha na wazazi wao. Kufika hapo wazazi nao wakaulizia ni nini shida yao wanafunzi. Wakaambiwa kina Ubanga na mwalimu. Akawaambia hao vijana wanatumia dawa za kulevya. Then kutoka hapo ilifika pale mzazi akasema wacha mimi niende na wewe kijana wangu nyumbani, at least niende nimwangalie for 2 to 3 weeks nione venye ana behave. Tulipoenda nyumbani mzazi akakuwa tu ananiangalia hivi, mimi nakuwa tu najificha, naenda kwa soko, naenda na nanunua drugs zangu venye tu naona tu ikiwa kawaida yangu, nazitumia na narudi tena nyumbani. Mzazi akaangalia akaona huyu kijana venye anaendelea aendelee poa. Yetu mzazi akanipick akanipeleka rehab, whereby nilikaa kwa rehab for 3 to 4 months. Then kutoka hapo behavior yangu ikakuwa modified na ikakuwa sawa.
Okay, this was unknowingly, sikuwa ninajua. Okay, I knew this girl was in a cult, but I'm like, she's my friend, so it doesn't mean that because she's in a cult, I have to be in a cult as well. Yeah, she was my desk mate in Form 2. Okay, joining high school, first of all, I thought that this will be a better place for me to change and erase my primary school life. It was a good life and it's a bad life because class 6, 7, 8 was okay for me because I blended in well, I became friends with my teachers. I even embraced the male teachers and some of them stepped up as my dad. I remember I had a school dad who used to treat me like his daughter, and at least I had that fatherly love for like a year. It was nice. So in high school, I have this circle of friends. Okay, they were not my friends at first because nikiingia Form 1, I was into CU and drama. Like those were my only places. Ukitaka kunipata, it's either I'm doing a CU activity ama I am in drama. And in drama, let me say, I don't know, I was heavily obsessed with it because I remember after first term when drama was done, I was like, I felt like I didn't belong anywhere else. So I was really struggling to fit in, and I guess that's how I joined CU because I felt like, in CU girls will be there hugging each other, checking up on you, to the canteen, so I felt like, oh, it's nice. You have like that.
As a community, it's our responsibility to empower these youth and encounter them or engage them in free mentorship programs, educate this youth on self-awareness, critical thinking, and also decision making.
My name is Kevin, and I'm a victim of peer pressure. Mine actually came during my high school period, where it actually affected my studies. That was in the year 2017. Actually, mine was all about it was about drugs, and I can try to say that both I can say I was kind of drawn into it by I could say I visited my aunt once, and it was I can say my cousin had some friends, and that was how it started, and it became a habit of me. During holidays, I used to go all the way. Like I would always long for holidays so I could go back to Nakuru to go and actually be with those guys. During afternoon periods, actually, people would actually tell me, "Where do you disappear?" But I used to go to Nakuru. So it was the drugs that was kind of drawing me there, and it reached an extent where we were arrested.
My desk mate, how I joined her group is because they used to sing a lot of secular music. I hated secular songs, but so that was the era of the Gengetons, Street, Epic, Boondocks, and I was like, why not try out these? So what I'd do, nikienda home, I'd make sure I download the lyrics of all those songs. So tukienda home, tukienda shule, if someone starts the song, najua venye inaendelea, and they'll be like, damn, so you've got this. I'm like, yeah, you know. Literally, I had a notebook ya kuandika tu lyrics. So my friends are like, yeah, she's cool, we can hang out with her, blah, blah, blah. Yes, she's fun, and that was me. I loved it a lot. So we're to Coca hostels, and then I happened to join campus with my best friend from high school, and we were roommates, but with other two people that we had met, but they were continuing students. They weren't first year students like me and my best friend. So they were into like parties, boys, drugs, and that time was like, hey, I can't do this. So walikuwa wanataka like a holy joka room. Hadi wakitaka like we have like a prayer thing in the room. They be, hey, abi tuombe leo tulale tuombe. That was me. I used to pray for them. I used to pray with them and for them. Hadi kuna time tutachochana, we'll have a Bible study together as roommates, and yeah, it went on for quite a few days because I would always initiate it. They would come with drugs kwa room, then they'd tell their friends, hey, huyu hapana, huyu hawezi, huyu ni wa kanisa. And I felt nice about it, but that was my first semester. So my second semester, I don't know how it happened because it was the first week of the first semester. But I guess I got a lot of peer pressure things from my cousins because tumeenda home for the holidays. My cousins, my brother, they'd go out drinking. Then definitely they'll carry me along because watanyesha nikifanya nini. But I'll be them nakunywa tu soda, having fruits. Then they're like, Abi, you know, you need to like loosen up a bit, have fun. Like, how else will you make campus memories if you can't try out new things? Uta grow up, ufike miaka 25, 30, utaanza kutamani hizi vitu. Then I'm like, whether they have a point. So when I'm coming back to school next semester, I'll try and have a little fun, like loosen up a bit. I'll stop going home so much over the weekends, nikae tu and have fun. So I remember the first weekend of the second semester was one of our friends' birthday. He was living kwa hizo hostels tulikuwa, but alikuwa amemove out kwake akaenda sasa to his own place. So my roommates are like, hey, Pepe ni birthday nani, si tutaenda tu tumsurprise. And I'm like, oh yeah, that would be nice because he was a nice friend. So tumetoka tu kwa room, it was around 5 p.m. We go to the dude's place. Like, wewe tunakuja, ni birthday yako, lazima usherehekee. He's like, hey, mimi nataka kusoma pana, you have to party. And my roommates were so convincing. So he was like, ni sawa basi. So he bought just snacks. We just had like juice, biscuits, cakes, sweets, and I was happy because I love junk a lot. So we got to up, then my roommates are like, hey, apana, this party will be boring if you don't have like alcohol and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, if you want that, you can go take alcohol, but mimi niko tu sawa na soda. They're like, ni sawa. Wakachanga wenyewe kwa wenyewe, they went, they bought liquor, wakakuja wakakaa. So they're like, shots. Mimi nikasema mimi niko tu sawa na shot yangu ya soda. They're like, ai, abi hapana, man, for once, just try. And I was like, I have never had alcohol in my mouth. I can't. They're like, abi, hii ndo ya kwanza na ya mwisho basi, because ni ya kufungua mzinga. I'm like, oh, sawa basi, but ni hivyo. After that, I'm done. I'm like, okay. so wakaniekea shots. Nilichase, but I don't know, after the first shot I felt like a totally different person. Nika puke, and from there I don't know what happened. Walikuwa neka shots and I'm there. By 8 p.m. I was so down, nimezima. So I wake up at 3 a.m. and I'm like, there's so many people in the room, people I had not left before. And like, I can see more drinks kwa floor, watu wamelala. And then there was blood kwa trouser yangu. And I didn't know, I'm like, shit, like, okay, what happened? And my friends. So yeah, I see my best friend was not there when I was drinking. She came later on. So nakuja, alikuwa amelala kando yangu. And I tried to wake her up, but she's dead bitch drunk, hazy. So I'm like, what happened? Why is there blood? I started crying. So Nalia, my best friend, wakes up and she's like, and I'm like, sifili poa. Nasikia sijui kizunguzungu. She's like, ni hangover. And I'm like, no, this is a totally different feeling for me, and I don't know what's happening to me. So she told me, we relax kwanza, acha asubuhi fike tutaongea. So she goes back to sleep. Eventually pia mimi nikalala, so she wakes me up at 8 p.m. I'm like, nini happened, what happened? So apparently one of my roommates alikuwa amelewa excess. Alikuwa anataka kwenda washroom kupuke, tukapatana naye akanigonga kichwa. I don't know what happened. Aligonga wall. No, she was bleeding, akaniangukia. So that was her blood. So now I was like relieved. I'm like, oh, thank God. But still, we have to leave. The following day was on a Sunday. I didn't go to church. I cried the whole day. And my classes used to end on Tuesday. So on Tuesday evening, I went home. And I'm just crying, and I felt like I was the worst singer. Like I felt nini kosea kabisa. And on Sunday I went back to church, and I'm like telling my pastor, I did this and this happened. But yeah, and I felt so guilty. Like so ilinuma, because I'm like, this is something that I don't want to become. My mom has always told me about drinking, and I have learned it from my dad, so I wouldn't want it to be now me.
We were arrested during one of our runs when we were actually going to pick up when natoka kwa Pedi. Actually, Pedi was a trap, and we were arrested. So I could say that me, it was a shock, because I knew who my parents was. I knew my dad very well, and actually my mom too. I didn't want to disappoint her, but it had happened. So actually at that moment, the only person I could rely on was my dad. So, and he actually threatened me and my cousin. He told us that we were going to face the consequences of our action, because we cannot be doing things knowing the consequences and then just get out of it because you know someone. So he actually told us we were going to face it, and we stayed in there. We stayed in the cell, and then we were actually taken to a rehabilitation center there. It's actually called John Mutuzo in Nakuru. Stayed there for 2 weeks. As I was staying in there, actually, I also saw that my education actually was going to be affected, because it got into the opening day of school. And that my dad always kept telling us, like, we learn your lesson. Hapa ndo mtajua, like, hapa ndo mtajua, like, maisha si rahisi. So, but actually, I can say drugs actually ruined my life, because actually even after the rehabilitation center, after we came out of that place, I can't say that I quit it immediately. It took me a while, because I had to, like, sometimes najipata kwa sherehe, man. It's been a while. Had to toy lock, like that. Like, it's been a struggle for me. So what made me quit actually about the drugs, actually, because I didn't actually used to do weed. It actually led to another thing. I think one of my friends actually went deep into the drugs themselves. Actually started using cocaine, and actually it affected him so bad that he became crazy. At one point he he wanted to stab his mom, and he got locked in a room in his own home for like, let's say about 2-3 months there. And also my cousin went crazy, so that actually it scared me. So the turn of events, actually my friend turning crazy, my cousin, it actually scared me. And I was like, man, I can't do this. And because my mom was also like, if you are still into this stuff, man, it's all up to you right now. Because you can see your friends. One wanted to kill the mom. The cousin is crazy on that. So he said, like, my mom told me, actually my mom's words turned me, kind of became a turning point for me, because she told me, like, if you continue with this trend, maybe you have an intention of killing me. Who knows? Maybe your friend's mom was lucky. What if I will not be lucky on that day? So actually, it really scared me a lot. And I was like, I can't do this anymore, because my mom's actually my pillar, and I'm like, I don't want to disappoint that lady. Peer pressure, actually, sometimes it's even like, when people say, we are not forcing you to do this, it's up to you, because actually itself, peer pressure is actually all about you. What do you do? What do you do when you see your friends doing it? You are not going to be forced to take the drugs. It's going to be like, it's up to you, because mtu akileta pombe ama weed, he's not going to give it to you. If you don't want it, you can avoid it. So peer pressure is actually something you can avoid it. If you really want to avoid it, you can really avoid it very well, because it's all up to you. It's your life that you are taking chances with. So peer pressure is something, it's all about the person himself. Nobody's going to force you actually to do what you don't want to do.
Has not succumbed to peer pressure, because if a community lacks youth, there's no community.